There are a number of businesses that are successful without getting external funding. My name is Sawa Nakagawa from AlphaMundi Foundation. One of the common mistakes that businesses make when seeking investment is to not answer the fundamental question of, do you need funding, right? I often ask, do you need funding? Because you don't necessarily need, especially at the SME level, to get external funding to be successful. There are a number of businesses that are successful without getting external funding. And even in developed markets, the businesses that receive, say, venture capital funding out of the multitude of small businesses, it's a real small fraction of the entire ecosystem. So asking questions, do I need funding? And if the answer is yes, what is that funding going to be used for? So funding isn't going to solve the fact that your product isn't good enough for the customers, right? So really digging deep into, do I need funding question. One advice that I would give to SMEs that are wanting to engage with investors in the future is to, again, focus on the fundamentals of the business. So rather than thinking, I'm going to scale and in 10 years time, I'm going to be profitable and I'm going to be a unicorn, is a model that I think a lot of the investors shy away from in terms of investing in Africa. What makes businesses investable? One is the size of the problem that the business is trying to solve. And of course, what traditionally people call the product market fit. So is the business, does the business's product or service truly cater to the needs of those that they serve? And that inherently would lead to the business being more successful, getting more customers, and becoming more investable. In terms of the tips for the businesses in getting investments, I would encourage the management team to really dig deeper into the business model, the thesis, the product market fit. I think it's very easy for the founders think that they're not able to grow because of lack of funding, but that's typically not the case. What makes the businesses post-funding become successful? There are a few success ingredients, I would say. One is setting up the system that's really needed with the funding that you receive to position yourself to scale. So that could be often, these are small businesses, so they don't have a secure management team that's just beyond the founders. So setting, finding the CFOs, for example, I think that like the finance function is often that we see that is lacking. So setting those things up, processes and systems, so that you can really get to the next level of scale. And I think also another success factor is really working with your investor. And investors don't just bring capital. AlphaMundi Foundation provides, catalytic capital, but also comes with technical assistance that is bespoke to each business's needs. So I use asking the investors that provided you with capital for their, opening up their network, helping you strategically, making introductions, and those are all key ingredients for scaling. So if you're an investor that's wanting to invest in Africa, one thing I would definitely suggest you do is to come and visit Africa. So I've been living in Africa for 17 years across South Africa and Kenya, and one thing I noticed is that there is a very high risk perception about investing in Africa. So some of it is true because of the macro issues, about the country risk, but you need to come and see the actual businesses and then the founders to make that decision, because you're backing a lot of the times, if you're investing in SMEs, startups, you're really backing the founders. So for that, you need to come and see them, really get to know them, understand the markets yourself to make that investment decision.